So I'm a firm believer of what God has for you is for you, and that God will circle opportunities back. But however, you guys, if you're not operating in your obedience, God will definitely find someone who is. Hey, welcome back to the channel. The other day, you guys, I made a video talking about how God will always bring an opportunity back to you when you're ready. Not when you think that you're ready, but when you've actually gone through the lessons, the trials, and the tribulations that shape you into the person who can handle the blessing. Because what God has for you is for you. But today, you guys, I want to take that to a step further. Yes, God is patient. Yes, God is merciful. But He is also a God of order. And if we continue to operate in disobedience, if we continue to ignore His instructions, the opportunities that we've been praying for, He will pass it on to someone else who was willing to walk in that obedience. So let's take a second and you guys, let's talk about it. I know what it feels like to feel like you've missed out, to feel like I've had that chance, but I wasn't ready. And the good news is that if it was meant for you, God will definitely bring it back. But what we don't talk about enough is the reality that God is not going to hold on to something forever while we keep playing with our calling. We love to say, well, at least I do, what's for me is for me. And while that is true, it's also true that God is looking for obedience. And if we keep resisting, if we keep letting fear, laziness, or excuses get in the way, He will find someone else who was willing to be faithful with that assignment. So let's take a second to think about the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The servant who buried his talent out of fear. What happened? That talent was taken from him and given to someone else who was willing to use it. The master didn't wait around hoping that the servant would finally decide to step up. He moved on. And that's exactly what happens when we refuse to step into what God is calling for us to do. God gives us assignments. God gives us opportunities. God gives us doors to walk through. But what He won't do, you guys, is force us to move. That's up to us. And I know this firsthand because there were things that God told me to do years ago, you guys, that I just ignored out of doubt, out of fear, out of not feeling good enough. And guess what, you guys? I watched other people step into those very things. Now, does that mean that I was replaced? No. It just means that God's will is bigger than just me. And if I don't move, He will definitely find someone who will. Because the work has to be done. The people have to be reached. And the business has to be built. The lives has to be impacted. So, let me ask you this. What is God circling back to you right now? What opportunity keeps knocking at your door? And are you finally ready to stop ignoring it? That's the question right there. Are you finally ready to stop ignoring it? So here's the bottom line, you guys. God is gracious, but He is also intentional. He wants to bless you, but He also wants your obedience. If He's bringing an opportunity back around, don't take it lightly. Step into it and trust Him. What is one thing that God has been nudging you to do that you've been putting off? Let's talk about it. Because I promise you, you don't want to look up years from now and realize that you let your opportunity slip away. So if this video has blessed you, be sure to like and subscribe and share this with someone who you feel like needs to hear this word on today. So I love you guys, and I hope and pray that I see you guys on the next one. Bye, loves.